Hey everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today you are going to see me do a process video using a tool that I so rarely use, even though it's like the easiest thing in the world to use. It is my Spellbinders Grand Caliber die cut machine. And I do have some metal die cuts that I'm using right here. I have a little box of them in different shapes and sizes. I have some words as well, and I just never really use them. So for today's layout, I thought I would use them because I was actually inspired by a layout in the Paper Issues Friends and Fans Facebook group that was part of the April challenges. And it had a background of frames. It was a sketch and it had frames in it. And I was like, okay, I think I could do something with that. And when I was going through my May haul and I saw the Echo Park Telling Our Story sticker sheet and it had sticker frames, I was like, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to use these stickers. I'm going to use pattern paper or cardstock in similar colors. And I'm going to make some more of my own frames using my cutting machine. And we'll go from there. So that's what I'm doing. I decided that I was going to do sort of I guess I would call it more of like a formal frame. It looks very fancy and old-fashioned. That's what I did with the yellow. It's a little bit thicker than I would have liked, but trying to make it thinner. The two stencils, the two die cuts, like they just didn't fit. They didn't nest well, one inside the other, which is weird because they're supposed to be nesting dies. I don't know, maybe I was doing it wrong. It just didn't seem like it was going to fit, and it seemed like it was going to make it be too thin and not cut right. So I made it a little bit thicker. I had a little bit more success with the scalloped ones, getting that to be less thick. I like the scallop look a little bit better than the fancy look, but that's what I was going for. I thought maybe I should do like regular circles, but I said I'll start with this and I'll see what I can add to it with the frame stickers, and then I'll see if I need anything more. So the original sketch had, I think, 2 photos in it. So I'm using 2 photos of a trip that my family took into New York City last year. I think this was in May last year. I think that's right. So we took a ferry over and then we went to the World Trade Center site. We didn't do the memorial. I still haven't done it. My husband has done it with his school. Perhaps when our daughter's a little bit older, we can all go back together and do it. But I have been to the memorial site many times, and it is very moving if you've never been there and you are considering going. It's really hard to describe to a 7-year-old why there are thousands of names printed or embossed into around these big fountains, especially when you get to ones that are like person's name and baby, and you're like, oh, okay. Anyway, not to bring this down at all. So I'm cutting out the frame stickers because I need to see them kind of on their own. I need to figure out how all of this is going to be stacked and layered together. And it's just easier to cut the stickers off of the sticker sheet. And that way I can kind of play around with them and move them around without their adhesive backing being free. And then I'm not accidentally sticking them down or having to peel them back up. So I have this striped paper that's from the Echo Park Telling Our Story collection. And I figured because I'm using the stickers and I'm going with that color scheme, the stripes are going to make perfect sense to go with this. But I was kind of feeling like the stripes were too busy with all of these frames, because I don't know what, maybe you're looking at it and you don't feel the same way. Let me know down in the comments. But I was thinking it was just too busy, and then you were kind of losing the frames, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, like do I need to do any backing of things? I think I backed one of the photos. I think I backed the smaller photo with some patterned paper. I didn't do the larger one. The smaller one is 3x4, by the way, and the larger one I think I cut down to 3.5x5. So they were both originally 4x6, but I made them smaller, and one is horizontal and one is vertical, and it's kind of like I'm going to be making an L shape. It's more like an upside down L shape with them. So that's a really easy way. If you have 2 photos with different orientations, make an L. All right. So what I've decided to do so that my frames don't get lost among the busyness of the stripes is that I'm going to add a piece of black cardstock in the center and then have the frames be kind of a border that goes around. And because I didn't want to waste all that good pattern paper, I gutted the center and then I think I took like an inch off two sides of the black cardstock and I'm just sticking it right down on top. So now you've got the pattern paper is peeking out from behind. It looks like it's a stripy frame. And then the black cardstock is really going to make the colors of the frames stand out a little bit more. And I went with black because it's a nice neutral. And the other solid color cardstocks in my stash, just I didn't feel like they went well enough. The colors didn't match well enough. Or like I have a light pink, but I thought the pink frame on a pink background is going to get lost as well. So I needed something that would really stand out and that wouldn't be such a mismatch with the colors. And I'm like, well, black goes with everything. And I actually think there might be a black stripe in that striped pattern paper, to be quite honest with you. So it's not like I pulled it out of thin air, but like I said, black is a neutral, so black can go with anything. All right. I think black, brown, and blue are neutrals, I think is the fashion rule. Anyway, so now I've got to rethink how I'm putting the frames in. And I think I was using the original sketch as a guideline. But obviously because I'm not using the same types of frames that was in the original sketch. I don't even know if I have the same number. But I'm just kind of putting things where I like them. I wanted the larger piece. I have the larger scallop kind of anchoring everything at the top. And then the smaller scallop is going along the diagonal down into the bottom right-hand corner. So at least those are kind of like the anchor pieces, and then everything else is going to kind of go around those. And obviously I'm going to be adding in some more embellishments. The frames are a big focal point, but they're not going to be the whole story. So I will embellish and even add a little bit of mixed media here toward the end. So yeah, if you are enjoying watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, and thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you are new to the channel or you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, welcome. Please consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on other process videos. And let me know down in the comments below if you have a cutting machine, what kind it is, and how often do you use it. I feel like people who make cards use cutting machines more than people who do just regular scrapbook pages, but I could be wrong. And I guess I'm thinking like the manual cutting machines where you're using the metal die cuts and everything. If you have something like a Cricut, yeah, you can use that for all sorts of things. You can use that for scrapbooking, making, cutting out your own cut files and that type of thing. That's great for scrapbooking, but I don't have one of those. I just have the manual Spellbinders Grand Caliber, which I don't even know if they still make it. I've had it for many years, like since before my daughter was born. I actually got it for free because I met the Spellbinders people at some sort of media event, arts and crafts media event. I don't know. And I made a contact and they were like, sure, we'll send you one. And I was like, okay. So I really should use it a lot more, especially since it was such a bargain. I'm adding in a couple embellishments here. So I got a photo or a camera sticker. I've got a taxi because this is in New York, even though we didn't take a taxi. I really rarely take taxis. I've got some cloud stickers in there. I don't know, just because you can see the sky in some of the photos. And then I'm adding some flowers. I think I'm going to add some enamel dots toward the end as well. But I was kind of just going through my stash looking for things that were generic but also fit with the color scheme. Obviously, I don't have anything that's specifically like New York, aside from the taxi. But yeah, I'm just looking for stuff that's a little generic that can go with anything, that can go either way. And I think most of the flower stickers are from that Echo Park sticker sheet. The journaling spot is something that Paper Crafting with Rebecca sent me. And that's been really great. Actually, my daughter used some of those to make her own cards. It was very interesting. But I still have some, so I'm using that. And because it fits the shape of all the frames, I figured that would be good to use it for a journaling spot. What else am I throwing down here? Oh, I gotta have to do a title, obviously, duh. So I'm looking in a Simple Stories sticker book. Yes. And I'm just trying to find a few extra pieces. I put a phrase sticker down there. I love phrase stickers. I could use phrase stickers and enamel dots all day long. I don't know why. I just love grouping like 3 phrase stickers together. I just think that looks so nice. Just as much as I love grouping 3 enamel dots together, you know? I don't know. Enamel dots and phrase stickers are just, they're my jam, along with Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Spray, obviously. So creating some embellishment clusters, finding those corners, finding the negative space where I can add in some of those enamel dots. I'm going with some Altenew enamel dots in sort of like pinky colors because obviously there's some pink on this layout. And yeah, it's almost over with. This took a little bit of time to create because I had to figure out the whole pattern paper background thing and then find a new background. So most of that like figuring out process, I didn't show you. I did it off camera. So you're welcome for that. But when I do my enamel dots, I know I say this all the time. I just thought I would give you a tip. Well, when I use my enamel dots and they peel off and the adhesive sticks onto the plastic backing, then I have to break out my mini glue dots and glue those down. And I feel like I just said in another video that I have no trouble with Altenew enamel dots leaving their adhesive backing on the plastic. And then I did today. I did when I was making this. And I'm like, oh, come on. Anyway, when I do enamel dots, I like to do big, little, and small in groups of 3s. And then I'm using the Lost Shadow color, which looks really cool on the black, just to do a bit of splattering. Always cover your photos when you do the splattering just because it protects them. Although it does wipe off pretty easily with just like a tissue or even a baby wipe. So that's the layout. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and come back next time for more scrapbook processes. Bye!